guys, thanks for tuning in today's drive-by. It's an evening kind of drive-by here. It's about 6:44 in the evening. Today is Wednesday. Actually, today's Wednesday, September 30th, 2015. Threw me off for a minute. It's about 85 degrees. I'm on the I-75 going northbound towards Ellington, Florida. And we got a little bit of a sunset here. It's kind of nice. I'm going to try to focus in on that. I wanted to bring up a subject real quick, a quick drive-by. And once again, thanks for all my drive-by viewers and all the YouTube subscribers. And hopefully we can make the channel grow and get more content to you. I like doing drive-bys. This way I can express my attitudes and my views while I'm driving. And my drive-bys will be here long after I'm dead and gone and in the grave. But anyway, I wanted to bring up a subject, and this is going to be lubrication of a gun. I'm bringing this up because there's a lot of people out there that talk about lubrication, and I really think they don't even know what they're talking about. Okay, bottom line, I'm going to bring up a subject, and I'm going to kind of ease into it. I was in the military, and we used to have the M16 and the 45 Colt. In the military, we were taught to heavily lubricate our guns. We used to lubricate the shit out of our guns, especially our M16s, to keep them lubed from rusting and from moisture getting and corrosion. We used to clean them every day after firing them, but we kept them really lubed, and our guns never failed. And we used to use a fairly heavy oil. I can't remember what it was, but it was a fairly heavy oil, and we used to lube them really good, clean down the bore, the barrel, everything, the bolts, take them all apart, and we cleaned them pretty good. And like I say, they always functioned flawless. I continued that out to civilian life when I got out of the military, when I bought guns. I continued to clean them heavily. Very good. Let's see if we can get more of the road here. And I continue to this day. I firmly believe a good amount of lubrication on a gun is the way to go. Some people say, oh, it traps dirt, it traps cat hairs, it can make things foul. No way lubrication is going to make a gun foul. Not unless you dip it in a can of Crisco and you freeze it. Then you might have a problem, and then still you won't, because believe me, the slide going back is going to actually work pretty good, because that's a hell of a lot more force. And if oil and grease is going to hold your slide back, you definitely got a problem with your gun, or some of the recoil springs or something like that. So oil is not going to, and lubrication is not going to prevent your gun from functioning. A lack of it, however, will. And the lack of it will give you more wear on your gun. And that's one thing you want to avoid, especially in a higher end gun, like a high-end 1911, or any kind of high-end automatic. You want to prevent friction. You want to prevent wear. A lot of people say, well, they'll buy an older gun and it sticks a little. Well, you got to be careful of sanding and polishing areas in the gun. You're going to have more wear. You're going to decrease the accuracy of the gun. Myself, there's a bunch of good oils and greases and lubes for guns. The outers, gun and choke grease is good. That's nothing wrong with that. That's a fairly solid grease where and it's liquid enough to put through like a syringe or something. For your slide, for maybe the firing pin area, the hammer, some of the springs. Any kind of heavier oil. I would use a heavier instead of lighter, because the lighter oils do not provide very much protection. They leak out. Now, people say, well, it gathers dirt and oil. Well, the dirt and grease, dirt and stuff like that, moisture. Well, you're going to clean your gun normally after you fire it. When you go to the range and put 150, 200 rounds through it, chances are you're going to take it home, clean it, get your solvent out, wipe it all down, get all the oil and the grease out of it, the dirt and the carbon, and then you're going to relube it. Chances you're going to do that with the gun. So, it really doesn't even have a bearing on the fact. Now, if you take your gun and you any kind of oil on it or any kind of grease on it, and you leave it that way dirty, and you put a few hundred rounds through it, leave it, put it aside, just leave it, and you're safe for 2 years, yeah, the gun will probably still fire fine, but you're just going to have carbon and it's harder to get out. That's the biggest thing. The carbon is harder to get out because it dries out. So bottom line, I've always liked lubrication on guns. It always helps them. Bottom line, you want to take your gun. You want to take your gun apart, right? And then you want to clean it. Remove all your carbon, and then go ahead and lube it. And always recommend you heavily lube it, especially where the areas that matter. Like you want to lube it in the your rails of the gun. Any parts of the gun that make contact. So like your rails, your slide, your hammer, your trigger, springs, firing pins, rubbing surfaces that move. You're going to want to lube those good. Heavy lubrication has never hurt any gun. Anybody that tells you heavy lubrication is going to cause a gun not to fire or not to work is full of shit, because they are. Bottom line, when I was in the military, we heavily lubricated our guns, and they fired flawlessly. We were lubricating our guns to go into battle and to kill. Okay? We never had any problems. We put hundreds and thousands of rounds through them. M16 at 300 meters, I was plucking up bullseyes, and put hundreds and thousands of rounds through these guns. Never had a problem. It did help them because it kept it lubricated. And if you've got a gun where you heavy lubricate and the gun doesn't function, then you got a problem with your gun, because the spring, is a hell of a lot more powerful than the lubrication on your gun. So good lubrication is number one. I don't use axle grease, however that probably would work. Just a good mid-range oil, nothing too viscous and nothing not enough viscous. And viscosity is the shear force of an oil. Heavier oils have a thicker viscosity because they flow heavier. Like Crisco would have a real heavy viscosity. WD Florida, like Crisco, like mineral oil, would have less of a viscosity, so higher viscosity. Okay, so that's what you want to look at. You want to look at a semi-viscous gun oil. Wilson Comment makes a nice Ultra Lube, which is not real thick and not real thin. Or you could go out and get some M-Pro 7, or you could go out and get some of the Outers gun and choke grease. That's not bad either, because when it heats up, it actually becomes very liquid. It's kind of hard to pour out of the tube, so you might want to get something with a applicator tube, or get a small syringe where you could apply it. I just wanted to bring that up, so the people that are talking about lubrication are full of shit when they say too much lubrication is no good. It's not going to hurt your gun. You might get a little grease on the outside of it, which you can wipe down with a nice paper towel or a cotton rag. But you're going to clean your gun anyway, so it's not going to matter. The biggest thing is to getting oil on your grip, or getting it too much on the surface of the gun where you're not able to rack it or hold it correctly. And that you can just wipe it down with some solvent to get it off, or just a dry paper towel still to knit it, dry it out. But thanks a lot for my drive-by, and tell me what you think. But like I say, this is I-75, just passing mile marker 200. I'm going to go to mile marker right about 224, which is Ellington. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. And this is the I-75 northbound, southern Florida. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.